Welcome to today's episode of the Mindset Shift podcast. In this episode, we're going to dive into one of the most powerful tools we have to shape our lives, habits. More specifically, we'll explore the question, how do I start changing my habits? Whether you're looking to break free from old habits, build new ones, or simply improve your day-to-day life, this episode is for you. If you've ever tried to make a positive change, only to fall back into old patterns, don't worry. You're not alone, and I'll be sharing practical strategies to make lasting change. But before we dive in, I want to take a moment to remind you that changing habits is a journey, not a destination. So, give yourself grace and celebrate every small victory along the way. Let's get started. To change a habit, we first need to understand what a habit is and how it works. Habits are automatic behaviors that we perform regularly, often without thinking about them. They can be positive, like exercising every day or practicing gratitude, or negative, like smoking or overeating. Our brains love habits because they save energy. When something becomes a habit, our brain doesn't have to use as much effort or energy to make decisions. It can operate on autopilot. This is why habits are so powerful. Once they're ingrained, they guide our actions without us even having to think about them. According to Charles Duhigg, in his book The Power of Habit, habits are made up of 3 parts. 1. Cue. This is the trigger that starts the habit loop. It could be a specific time of day, a certain feeling, or even something external like a sound or event. 2. Routine. This is the behavior you automatically do after the cue. For example, after feeling stressed, you might find yourself reaching for a cigarette or a snack. 3. Reward. The benefit or feeling you get from completing the routine. It's what reinforces the habit loop and makes you want to do it again. To change a habit, you don't need to break this loop entirely. Instead, you can alter one or more of these components, replace the routine with something healthier, change the cue, or adjust the reward. You might be wondering, if I know how habits work, why is it so hard to change them? Well, our brains are wired for comfort and efficiency. When we try to change our habits, we're essentially asking our brains to work harder, to override the automatic behavior that has been reinforced over time. Moreover, changing habits requires us to break free from the neural pathways that have been created by repetition. The longer a habit has been ingrained, the harder it is to shift. Think of it like trying to change the course of a river. The deeper the channel, the harder it is to redirect the flow. But don't get discouraged. It is possible. It just takes consistency, patience, and the right strategy. Now that we understand how habits work and why they're difficult to change, let's talk about the steps you can take to start shifting your habits for good. Here are some actionable strategies that can help you. 1. Start small. When you're trying to change a habit, it can be tempting to go all in and make drastic changes. But research shows that small changes are more sustainable in the long run. Instead of trying to overhaul your entire routine, pick one small habit to focus on. For example, if you want to start exercising more, don't jump straight into an intense daily workout. Instead, start with a 10-minute walk every day and gradually increase the time as it becomes a part of your routine. Starting small allows you to build momentum and confidence without feeling overwhelmed. 2. Focus on the why. Understanding why you want to change your habit is essential for maintaining motivation. Ask yourself, what will I gain from this change? And why does this habit matter to me? For instance, if you want to quit smoking, you might focus on how quitting will improve your health, increase your energy levels, and save you money. When your reason for change is strong enough, it becomes easier to push through moments of temptation or difficulty. Write your why down somewhere visible. It will remind you of your motivation when things get tough. 3. Use the power of triggers, cues. Remember that every habit starts with a cue. To change your habit, you need to modify the cue or create a new one. This is called habit stacking, and it's a powerful technique. For example, if you want to start a habit of stretching every morning, stack it onto something you already do regularly, like brushing your teeth. So, after you brush your teeth, you'll immediately do 5 minutes of stretching. This way, the action of brushing your teeth becomes the cue for the new habit. By connecting a new behavior to an existing one, it becomes easier to remember and integrate into your routine. 4. Track your progress. One of the best ways to stay on track when changing your habits is to track your progress. This can be done with a habit tracker app or even just a simple calendar where you mark off each day that you successfully complete your new habit. Tracking gives you a visual representation of your success, which reinforces the behavior and helps you stay motivated. You can also identify patterns and troubleshoot areas where you might be struggling. 5. Be patient and flexible. Changing a habit isn't going to happen overnight. It takes time, often longer than we expect. Be patient with yourself. If you slip up, don't give up. Instead, assess what happened, adjust your strategy if needed, and get back on track. It's important to be flexible. If one approach isn't working for you, don't be afraid to try something else. For example, if you're trying to drink more water and setting reminders isn't working, consider carrying a reusable water bottle with you so you can drink more easily throughout the day. Remember, the goal isn't perfection. The goal is consistency and progress. 6. Reward yourself. Positive reinforcement is a key part of habit formation. Once you complete your desired behavior, reward yourself. This doesn't have to be anything huge. Maybe you treat yourself to a relaxing activity, a small indulgence, or some time to do something you enjoy. The reward helps reinforce the habit loop and makes it more likely that you'll repeat the behavior in the future. Let's say you're trying to build a new habit, like waking up earlier. Here's how you can create a positive habit loop. Cue. Set an alarm at the time you want to wake up. You could even place your phone across the room so you have to physically get out of bed to turn it off. Routine. Once you're awake, drink a glass of water, stretch, and maybe even do a quick morning meditation. Reward. Enjoy a few minutes of quiet time with a cup of coffee or tea, or reflect on your intention for the day. The key is to make the reward something that genuinely feels good to you. That way, your brain will start associating the new habit with positive feelings, making it more likely to stick. Your environment plays a huge role in shaping your habits. To make change easier, you can modify your environment to support your new behaviors. For example, if you're trying to eat healthier, keep fruits and vegetables in clear sight and hide junk food in cabinets. You can also surround yourself with people who encourage your goals. Having a support system, whether it's a friend, family member, or online community, can make all the difference when it comes to staying on track. Changing your environment to reduce temptations and increase support will make the habit-changing process smoother and more manageable. And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Mindset Shift podcast. We've covered a lot of ground, but the most important takeaway is this: changing habits is possible. It takes patience, consistency, and the right strategies, but with time, you'll start to see results. Remember, focus on starting small, being patient with yourself, and consistently practicing the behaviors you want to make a part of your life. Don't forget to celebrate your small victories along the way. I hope today's episode has inspired you to take the first step toward making lasting changes in your life. If you found this helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, share it with a friend, and leave us a review. Your feedback helps us create more content to support you on your journey. Thank you for listening, and I'll catch you in the next episode.